Hello, everybody. Andrew Parkinson here with Cruising World, and we just got back from the Annapolis Boat Show, Annapolis Sailboat Show, and that's where we're doing all the judging for our Boat of the Year competition. And one of the front runners in the multi-hull category is Vision Yachts. They brought a Vision 444, and I'm stoked this morning because I'm sitting here about to talk to James Turner. James is the CEO of Vision Yachts, and we're going to find out a little bit more beyond the build about how this great boat came to be and what we were looking at there on the Annapolis docks. So, James, good morning. Thanks for meeting with me.
Hi, Andrew. Yeah, good to be interviewed by you guys. Very excited about being part of the Boat of the Year awards.
Yeah, great. And we're glad you're a part of it, and congrats on the nomination. Now, this interview was initially going to happen on the docks, on the boat in Annapolis, but we had some technical malfunctions because every time my crew would come to the boat to do the interview, the thing was jam-packed. So we couldn't find that special time to do this. So, we're making the time after the fact. Let's just start by, maybe can you provide a general overview of the new model, the Vision 444, and some of its key features that set it apart from the crowd?
So the Vision 444, the concept behind it, I come from a boat building background. I've been in boats my whole life. I've had my own yachts. I've had them up the east coast of Africa. And the big thing was to bring a boat to the market, a no-nonsense boat for cruising couples. So we spent a lot of time, taking a lot of experience. I've also got a custom boat building background, so I've been exposed to many different designs and design features, and took all of that and brought it together. And one thing I've learned with boats are compromise. So you want to get the best compromise across the board. As soon as you excel in one thing, something else fails. So we just needed a boat that was efficient, easy to use, safe, had the luxury, had redundancies built in, easy to repair. And now most of our market is between 40 to 65. So one has to take into account your client base. So we put a huge amount of design and thought into the vision, and to make it easy, make it user friendly, hassle-free boating as much as you can, if there's such a word.
Yeah, for sure. So let's unpack that design and concept behind the new model a little bit. What inspired the design? How did it come to be, and what type of boating experience does this Vision 444 aim to deliver to its customers exactly?
So our concept was, and what I saw in the market, there was everybody was so focused on the charter market, and everybody was getting so bogged up with high performance boats. I come from a high performance background, so the whole concept was to bring a really efficient sailing boat. She sailed beautifully, and the reality is to design a boat around real world conditions. And when I say that, is people are going to put kayaks on board, they're going to overload the boat. So design it from worst case scenario, and if you don't put all that stuff on, you're scoring. And my concept was the boat needs to be able to be self-sufficient off the east coast of Africa. There's no trawleries, there's no service providers. That's why we got a built-in workshop on the boat. We supply 2 years service kits with the engines and the water makers, and everything's dedicated pigeonholes. It's easy to work on the engine rooms, but you've got the luxury and the space. A lot of the design features also, it's to be efficient, so you don't have to use your aircon, so you get natural Venturi airflows through the boat. Bringing the indoor-outdoor living, our cockpit and our saloon area, they integrate beautifully. If the weather's bad, you can close it, create this massive platform there. If the weather's nice, if you're stuck inside behind the galley, you still feel like you're outside. There's a lot of little features. We've got our side access doors. That's great for, when you're having to bring diesel containers back, if you're in Mozambique and now you're having to replenish, your tender comes there and it all lines up perfect. It's very easy to put 20-liter jerry cans across. Everything we've designed and thought of has got a valid reason behind it. Now, even our engines, you know, we use a lot of nanny diesels. One of the boat of the show had Yanmar, but you know, we're very pro nannies just because they're very easy to work on. You don't need a IT guy to plug his laptop in to tell you what's wrong with your engine. You can still use a spanner to work on everything. Now, all the equipment we choose is very efficient, and you can fix it yourself. We also run a system called KISS, Keep It Simple Stupid. People get so bogged down on all the tech and trying to create more ways to generate power. I was like, hey, let's step back a second and actually look at putting more efficient gear in and not having to generate more power. You know, let's think of how we can be efficient, you know. So yeah, we put a lot of thought into all our, from our emergency steering right through to, you know, how the boat sails. We also looked at we've sailed a lot with our clients, and, you know, something that sets us apart, you know, we sail a lot with our clients, we look how our clients interact with the boat. So like, we've actually taken a lot of technology from single-handed racing boats, you know, incorporating halyard locks for our screeches and our spinnakers. That means that we're not getting halyard twist at the top, and you know, now the wife or the husband's having to go up the mast in 20 knots of wind to try unravel everything and get the screecher down. We've done the reverse. We've brought all the 2-to-1 purchases down to deck level. We've run halyard locks at the top, which you don't get chafing. So all these little details. We've actually done away with all our deck gear. We only got pad eyes on our decks. Just so when you bring out your screecher, everything's soft shackled. You don't have a dedicated lock out there which has only got a single use. You've got a pad eye now which can be used for 5 or 6 different uses. You know, so everything's got to have multiple uses. Everything's got to have a practical but stylish concept behind it. You know,
a lot of what we're talking about is, you know, we're talking about a boat that's capable of withstanding the elements when needed to.
Yeah, 100%.
That speaks a lot to durability, performance on the water. With that in mind, you know, can you tell us about the construction materials and techniques used to build a boat strong enough to deliver that?
Yeah, 100%. So all our visions, they're all resin infused. Every single component on our boat's resin infused. Our furniture is resin infused. Everything's a foam core vinyl ester boat. Everybody says, "Oh, why do you use vinyl ester throughout the boat?" Well, it's why not? You know, it's why do you foam core, foam sandwich furniture? You know, because it adds it all keys in and gives you a stiffer and stronger boat. You know, so yeah, the whole boat's resin infused. We don't do a gel coat finish. We do a all craft gel coat finish, and one of the big reasons is we can actually get a better finish. It's a bit more work. But it also means, you know, if our clients ding the boats and so forth, it's there's all grip or all craft specialists all over the world, so it's very easy to touch up, and you don't have the color fade issues and so forth, you know. And unfortunately, it's a reality. A lot of our clients are quite new to the boating world, and they do use the dock as a fender every now and again, you know. So, and yeah, and then all our all our furniture is actually it's structurally part of the boat too. It's actually bonded in. It's not like our Kia boat, which is all just, you know, put together. Everything's bonded, everything's tabbed in. There's a lot of hindered engineering in the boat. Every single cutout's got a uni trough. Every bulkhead's got a uni trough, you know. Also relating to the construction, things like halyard locks and so forth on the mast take all the compression loads out of the mast, so you land up with less stress on your boat. The big thing with the way we build our boats is all our doors and everything we put in, and everything's pre-installed when we go to the water. So when we put our rig on, a lot of guys which don't do that, the boat flexes and your doors jam in your doorways. You know, we don't have that problem, you know. So it just shows that the boat's nice and stiff. And then obviously vinyl ester, it's a much better product than polyester.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about how, you know, big and strong this boat is, but at the same time, when you're on board, it's a very comfortable boat as well. So let's talk
100%.
about that side of the equation. You know, what are some of the standout interior, exterior design elements that contribute to the Vision 444's aesthetic appeal and comfort aboard?
So a little bit of an interesting story there. So boat number one, we actually built for a guy in a wheelchair.
Really?
So it made us push the limits a bit further. And then when we finished and we looked at it and we thought, you know what, 90% of these features that we built for a person in a wheelchair make total sense for able-bodied people. So we've got wider doors. We've got lots of handrails everywhere. The way the cupboard doors open, they're all open in the same direction. You know, all these little things make sense when you're out at sea. Doesn't matter when you're in the marina, but when you're underway, you know, and it's unstable and rough, you know, so it's all these little details that we put into it, you know, which made quite a difference. So obviously we've got some really key features on our boat. You know, one of the our pride areas, you know, we've got our forward-facing nav station. You know, it gets a really great view. It's elevated, you know, so that's a great area when you're underway and you know on watch. You know, we've also got the nice big L-shaped door. We've got a nice interaction between the saloon and the cockpit. The systems cupboards is one of our special tricks. You know, we have a dedicated systems locker with port and starboard. Everything's consolidated into those lockers. All those doors on quick release hinges. So if you're in bad weather, you can unclip your hinges, put your door on the bed, and you've got a nice, comfortable space to work on. Also for fault finding, it allows shorter cabling runs. Fault finding's easier, and you know, you've got your air cons, you've got your aircon pumps, you've got your water pumps. Everything's labeled, everything is clear as day there. Then the second thing is our engine rooms. You know, we put a lot of effort into making that a user-friendly space. And, you know, you don't have to take your mattress off. You just lift your bed up, you climb in. You've got a bench to sit on. You've got dedicated tools in each engine room. I've made it flat around the engine. So, and 9 out of 10 times when something goes wrong out at sea, it's in bad weather. It's not, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's a safe area. There's ventilation. There's good lighting. You don't have to hunt for tools. And our other concept is, if you want to service your engines or do any maintenance, if it's hard to access stuff, you put it off to another day, which means in turn that your maintenance on your boat isn't that good. Whereas I've got the thing is, if you make it easy to maintain, you're going to maintain it. So in our engine room, 2 of us can sit together, have a beer, and service the engine. You know, that's how much space there is. So, and there's a lot of detailing we put in. You know, people ask us to move a cupboard, and we say we can't because we've got a dedicated conduit for every single pipe or wire on the boat. It looks like a crow's nest behind everything. So if you need to replace a pipe, you pull it out, you put a new one, and it comes out at the destination. So it's very easy. At the boat of the show versus the boat there, you know, I'm permanently discontent, so I'm always trying to improve stuff. We've elaborated on the systems even more. You know, we've made more spaces more accessible. You know, we've got a couple of new additions we've done, and it's really easy and great to work on.
Walk us through the layout a little bit, if you will. Describe what we're looking at, and we're going to put up some pictures here as you're talking. But what can the user expect when they go down below?
So starboard side is a dedicated owner's cabin. We had drawn a 4-cabin layout, but we haven't really had any inquiries with it, you know, because we catering for the cruising couples. So we thought, instead of having the traditional owner's cabin where you have a settee down or a little desk down below, rather have a really more like a mini estate room, you know, have it open, have the feeling of not being claustrophobic, and basically, you know, having a decent sized head, decent sized shower, and then actually put some practical things in, like having the workshop up forward. You know, that workshop gets used more than you realize, you know, and people for maintenance and so forth. So starboard side, it's really open, it's airy. You've got a privacy door that you can close off on. You go up onto the saloon, the bridge deck level. Obviously, you've got your galley in your saloon, which is nice and open to your cockpit. You go down to the port side, you've got an aft cabin with its own head. It's a wet head. It's a bit more compressed. This was a bit of a compromise because we also have 6 pantry drawers there, and we have a systems locker. So to try to fit all of that in, there had to be a little compromise there. Forward cabin on the port side is the island bed, and also ensuite. Nice, comfortable cabin. I always joke, I said, the guests that you want to stay for the shortest period of time, you put them in the aft cabin,
Yeah, right. I know our judges have sea trialed the boat a couple of days ago this week as part of the Boat of the Year judging. Can you speak to the performance of the boat a little bit? What can we expect from a boat handling perspective?
Yeah, so we're very happy how the boat performs. One of the key features, being a blue water cruiser and doing transatlantic, you sailing in the milk run. So what's important for there, the boat needs to be able to handle surfing and going down the swell true without broaching or being twitchy. So we put a lot of design emphasis into that. We've had clients hit up to 28 knots on our boats going downwind with their families on, and it's not scary, So we put a lot of design into the tail rocker and with the mini keel, so she tracks beautifully. She's not twitchy. She loves to reach. I've even had clients who've overloaded the boats, because they love the South African wine, so they end up putting like a ton of wine on when they leave, and the boat still performs. We're still doing, in 25 knots of wind. We've got the code 55 on with a reef in the main, and you're doing 16 knots. I think Jubilee, the boat you were on, when they were going up the coast of Brazil, they were hitting 268 nautical mile days.
Wow.
I think for 5 or 6 days running, they didn't go less than 230 mile days. And then obviously upwind and so forth, she, for a mini keel boat, she sells pretty well upwind there. If you concentrate, you sail comfortably 40 degrees off the wind. But my whole thing is, it doesn't matter what boat you're in, daggerboards, monohulls, whatever, it's never nice going to weather. And obviously we've got the Meisner heads here, so we do a lot of practice. It gets pretty rough, and I've pushed her, I've done a bit of free falling with her, caught some really steep waves, and I always push them through the limits.
Well, James, a couple of buzzwords we have in the industry: sustainability, eco-friendly cruising, things like that. How are you addressing environmental concerns, promoting responsible boating with your Vision 444?
So we kind of, it's something that we do look at. So obviously with infusion and doing a lot of infusion, that kind of controls the release of styrenes and, from the polyester and polyester based products. We've also starting to do a lot of CNC cutting, which means that we can optimize our wastage. We try to recycle as much product as possible, like foam off cuts. We actually take all the foam off cuts and we turn them into infusion blocks, and then we see how much of the resin infusion bag we can reuse. We don't use lacquers or clear coats on our timbers. Everything is oils. And we are playing with water-based products. We're also looking at different closed molded systems where we painting and resin and everything all happens in one process. There's little things, but there's still lots, and obviously in South Africa we have a bit of load shedding, so we're also looking at our factory going off the grid. Now we're in the process of looking at going totally solar, that also reduce our carbon footprint, but yeah, we're trying to look at ways all the time to bring down the emissions and the waste.
Yeah, every little bit counts.
100%.
James, and I have to ask, can you give us a glimpse of maybe future plans, developments for the model or the line, and where do you see this model? Yeah, I got to ask the tough questions, man. And furthermore, where do you see this model settling in the U.S. market?
So we are currently, it's very new. The concept's been there for a bit, but we're in the process of designing a bigger boat, a 484. I'm actually in the process of going to be cutting our first 1 in 10 scale model, during this week. So basically, where does this fit in the market? Well, it'll be a slightly, you can call it a slight facelift on the current 444. The idea, it's just a little bit bigger, a bit more volume. You've got a bigger family, you want a bit more space, you want a bit more waterline. It's a nice sweet spot between a 44 and the 50s. If you still want that husband and wife couple, but you still want to feel like you're on a 50-footer, the 484 is going to kind of sit there,
Great. Well, we're definitely looking forward to that. And in the meantime, we're enjoying the heck out of this Vision 444 here in the States for the first time. So congratulations on the nomination, and best of luck in the boat of your competition. And James, most of all, thank you for taking the time to speak to us and our audience today and tell us all a little bit more about the Vision 444.
Great. Thanks, Andrew.